For the 30th anniversary of She-Ra, Princess of Power, it was time for the Classics line to go back to Etheria. And by back to Etheria, I mean it was a way to pump out more of the main cast and the characters fans wanted to complete their collection. This was kind of always the goal. I mean, we did want to throw in a few surprises here and there, but we knew getting to all of the original carded Princess of Power figures from, what was it, 85, 86? Did they get to 87? I don't know if they, well, I mean, I'm sure they were on shelf in 87. Now, where we fell short were some of the variants. We never got to things like Starburst She-Ra, much more is the pity. I kind of do wish we got to her. But it was kind of like some of those variants of other characters like Scratch and Sound Catra that just never happened. So to do this, we created Club Etheria. And in order to sell Club Etheria, we knew we needed a very prominent fan-requested character to kind of be the, well, I guess we'll get into that, the bell cow, if you will, of the line. And completing that in Classics was a huge goal. And it was one that we achieved. I mean, again, no Scratch and Sound Catra, which I know there were fans that were upset over that. But we did manage to pull off all of the main characters and all of the characters that had a toy in the vintage era that were not variants. So, a pretty remarkable feat considering Princess of Power figures sold a lot worse. Now, we knew that this required some original characters, not like the 30th anniversary where characters had to be created from the ground up, but rather in order to do a character like Light Hope, who needed an articulated action figure, design work was needed. So, like I said earlier, we wanted to use Light Hope as kind of the draw to buy the full subscription. It was a bell cow, if you will, meaning something to draw people in. And draw people in it did, because, well, fans really wanted a Light Hope character, and honestly, once again, the Horsemen pulled it off magnificently. And we knew, again, from, I've mentioned in many videos, looking at fan customs over the years, this was a character fans really wanted a corporal representation of, meaning, a character that actually had a body that could be posed. And there were a lot of variations of this done over the years by fans, by professional artists, by amateur artists, by people just taking, Crystal Warrior characters and giving them He-Man accessories, although I kind of approve of that. It was pretty darn neat. Love Crystal Warriors. In the Netflix show, which I still have not made it all the way through, they did give a corporeal form to Light Hope and gave it kind of like this purple, cloaked, techie kind of thing. And again, I really didn't see much of the show. I was more of a fan of the original show where Light Hope was represented by a giant beam of light. Must have, been the inspiration behind all of those Marvel movies' third acts that we've had over the years. So we kind of had our choice. Do we do a giant beam of light, or do we do an articulated figure? And as I said, I'm a huge fan of Crystal Warriors. I mean, Frank Miller's the one who did the designs for these characters. So modeled after this concept, we didn't want to just do something like, the Rocky Meat, the infamous non-articulated accessory sold as an action figure. Or I guess maybe it would have been more like the Monolith action figure, a just, slab that in this case might have been colored rainbow colors. I guess we could have done that. This would have been a representation of Light Hope that was true to the original content, but it just didn't feel like what fans wanted. So instead of giving people a slab of colored light, we went with an articulated figure, and the Horsemen came through again. Actually, if I recall, was it Nate Barrich? Gosh, I don't recall. They did go to a third-party artist to design this, and I'm totally blanking if it was Nate or not. But it was designed by the Horsemen and their artist, and wow, did they deliver. And it looked just like the art that they created. And it was a really awesome figure. I've said many times how much I'm a fan of sort of, clear iridescent characters. And we did use the slab of light image on the bio because, again, we wanted to pay homage to the way Light Hope was represented in the content. But doing this slab of light as an actual articulated figure that you could pose with your collection was really important. And yeah, you can see they really, based on the design, just nailed it. And it came out so well. Could be posed with She-Ra, could be posed with He-Man. Heck, you could probably pose it with Ninja Turtles and it would look cool. And no, clear plastic is not brittle, like with the issue with the Green Goddess. That was because of a sonic welder issue. It had nothing to do with the plastic being brittle. So we weren't afraid that the figure was going to fall apart. Clear plastic is just another type of plastic. And Light Hope is, again, kind of She-Ra's counterpart to the Sorceress, and one that we really felt was so important to the overall mythos of the brand that getting Light Hope into the line was hugely important. Now, there were some, I don't want to call them variants, because they were sort of unintentional variants, where the, spray, the pink spray that was used over the white clear plastic was a little inconsistent figure to figure, but beyond that, even the accessory was awesome. I love the staff that the Horseman designed. Or again, I feel like it was Nate, but it wasn't Nate. Ugh, it's killing me. I'll figure it out. I will email them, and then I'll post an update, because credit should go to the person that actually designed Light Hope. It was, done through the Four Horsemen, but they, went out to a, third-party artist. There you can see an example of the spray not quite being even on the beard there. So yeah, there were a few figures in the early run that came out like this where we quickly fixed that so the majority were evenly distributed. It always annoys me when you get things like that. And Light Hope wound up being awesome. And, for a character that really needed an articulated figure, he was one heck of a bell cow.